Hello everyone, it's the Fuzzy Unibrow here, and before I get started, I would like to point out that the Halo Wars 2 trailer just came out today. I wasn't able to watch this at E3, A, because I was at work, and B, because I don't have the channel to play it on. I could have easily watched it on a stream, but I can't do that at work. So, and before I get started, one simple prediction. This has to take place after Halo 5, or at least after Halo 3. And the reason why I say that is because the leaked images for it, for the cover art for the game, showed the planet the planetoid that's in the middle of the art was shown to be extremely mined. And in Hunters in the Dark, minor spoiler alert here, but in that book, the planet in the center was mined heavily to at least do some repairs to the Ark due to the damage that it received at the end of Halo 3. So, there's my prediction. Let's see if it's true. So here we go. Okay, so the graphics are already better than anything that we've seen so far. They're probably not in-game graphics, but these are the cinematics, just like the first one did, where they used two different engines, one for cinematics and the other... Okay, what am I looking at here? Okay, so that's a brute. These cinematics look really realistic. This is the best that we've ever seen, and those Marines just get walloped by brutes, I assume. I think that's Captain James Cutter. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, that Warthog got blown the fuck up. What are these? What am I looking at? Oh, this Warthog's gonna get fucked up, isn't it? So this is either a simulation, or this is just done for cinematic purposes. The Cyclops just got a new upgrade. And that is the cutter. That's the cutter special ability from the first game, where you could use ODST pods, assuming that's what they are. Yeah, those are two Halo 2 Aero ODSTs. Oh my god, the original Spartans are back. Oh, these graphics look so good. I'll say that again. Yeah, this is done for cinematic purposes. These aren't the actual... This isn't from the actual thing. And of course we see elites fighting inside the brutes. It's a Cyclops. There's the Banshees. I think I see Scarabs in the background. And there's Wreckage, Know Your Enemy. Hopefully, they don't do the same thing from Halo 5 where they misled us by saying it's Hunt the Truth when it really wasn't. It's just a linear storyline that we have to play through. On the beta's live now.
Xbox One S, starting at $299.
Okay, so let's see here. Where is this? So over here we see. Now these are the original. If you go back and look, you could even go on YouTube and look up the I think it's the first cinematic or the Halo Wars official trailer, where it showed, I think it was the first 5 minutes or so of the campaign, and it basically shows the backstory of Harvest and whatnot. And these Marines look exactly the same. They have the same armor and everything. They're using the same arrow weapons from the time. This is the Halo 2 BR that everybody knows and loves. And again, I'll repeat this again. These cinematics are the best thing that we've seen in a while. You can clearly tell the facial images. Actually, I'll even go as far as to say that these are better than the ones that we got in Halo 2 Anniversary. And of course, this is I assume it's a brute hammer, a gravity hammer. I'm sorry. And in the books it is known to do this. If you ever watched even in the videos, if you watch the short live action short of Landfall that was done for Halo 3. Something similar to this happens where the ODST picks up the sniper and starts sniping. A brute comes along, I think it's a chieftain, comes along and dismantles the wall that's right next to him. It causes the ODST to back off, and then from there, the ODST gets fucked over. This is no different. And this is Captain James Cutter. This is really different. And okay, so the uniform is not the same as the one that we see in Halo Wars 1, and I only know this from recently playing it. The logo, however, is the one that the UNSC uses during the Covenant War era. After the war, they updated the logo to look like the one that we see now in Halo 4 and 5. But this again is coinciding with what they had at the time. The uniform, however, does not look the same. He has the hat. The only difference is that he looks really different. And honestly, I can't blame them because, you know, years later you can't have the same person that did the original motion capture for James Cutter. Here we get to see the Warthog. Alright, so if I'm looking at this correctly, this is the same one that was used in Halo 4, but at the same time, if I remember correctly, it was also shown in the Halo 2 Anniversary update that they did to the graphics. This is the same Warthog that we see, where it has the gas canisters in the back. That brute just got fucked up. That Warthog got destroyed. Now, see, this is in thanks to Halo Canon. I think I can thank him partially for this. I'll link him in the description. He's a great guy. He said in his video that these are Reapers that were probably given to the brutes in this game by the Created. And if you don't know what happens in Halo 5, basically a Terminator-style takeover occurs, where the AIs basically become the main powerhouse in the universe. Also, I think in Last Light, there was a faction that was extremely obsessed with the Great Journey and Forerunner technology. It wouldn't surprise me if this is a Forerunner construct of some kind, which I think is what Halo Canon said in his video. If that is the case, then I believe that this is post-Halo 5. It's just an assumption. I want to know. See, but these are rockets, and I don't think Forerunner technology would use rockets. And like I said, this has to be just for, you know, trailer purposes, because there's no way that you could pause a battle and then fight like this. Now here we see the Cyclopses. In Halo Wars, in the first one, the Cyclopses, all they did really when they were attacking opponents was just pound them to death. Their main purpose was to heal, either your buildings. I'm not sure if they could heal opponents because I never used them in combat. Let's see here. So again, great cinematics. And this is the Spirit of Fire. It makes a return. It looks basically the same. And I assume that these are ODST pods, and I think they're confirmed later on. Wow, they just crushed these things. Yeah, they're ODST pods. It's also backed up by the fact that they pop out later. Yep, see, there we go. So in the first game, when you were playing as Captain Cutter during multiplayer, one of his special faction abilities was the ability to upgrade Marines to ODSTs. And in combat, if you needed to, you could drop in ODSTs either behind them or in front of them, or really just to support your main line if you were being attacked as a means. And they would also recharge, so you couldn't just spam these guys. Also, you had to keep in mind your population count. So let's say that you were 35 out of 40 units. You could only drop like 5 ODSTs into a battle, assuming none of your units died. The maximum was 10 at once. You could drop more if you wanted to. You could also train them in the barracks if you wanted to. So this is obviously a multiplayer trailer. And let me back up. These guys. These are the 3 Spartans that remained on the Spirit of Fire when they got stranded in space. I honestly can't remember their names because it's been so long. I know though, I don't think it's Red Team, to be honest. It might be Red Team, but I'm not sure. And they're still in Mark IV armor too as well. Now in Halo Wars 1 they had shields, which I kind of found out of place, but because they didn't have shield technology until 2552 during the Battle of Reach. Keep forward. Again, the graphics just look amazing. There's the Spirit of Fire. Oh, this is so epic. I'm ready for this. See, and this is the weird part. After Halo 2, the Brutes and the Elites hate each other, so I know that there were some factions that kind of, if you were a Covenant loyalist, this would make sense. Because there were still some elites that were loyal to the idea of the Great Journey. But again, this just feels out of place after so many games. Yep. There's a Cyclops lifting up a Brute. There's a, oh my god, there's a Gravity Hammer, I believe. Or an Energy Mace, that's what I've heard that too. There's a Spartan. Hello, that's back. That's a returning ability, if I remember correctly. Let me go back. That is a returning ability. Spartans can hijack vehicles. There, okay, that's another find. That is a Covenant War era Pelican. I hate the new design for the Pelicans in Halo 4 and Halo 5 is just trash. I'm sorry. They look terrible. I'm glad that these are back. They also make sense with the crew of the Spirit of Fire and their equipment, considering that's way like the beginning stages of the Covenant War. So I'm happy that this is back. I hope that they go back to this one day. I really do. Because the new design is just garbage. It's like 343 Industries just looked at everything and they were like, how can we make this game ours without changing too much? And they just updated the Pelican. Not only that, but in the books, in the Halo 5 trilogy, they even said that the engineers changed the design to make them more efficient. And I don't agree with that. But, you know, these have to be the best looking Pelicans ever. I don't care what anybody says. And I don't know what this is in the background. Now, this part over here looks like it's part of a Halo ring, but it has to be on the Ark. Based off the cover art. And let's see, here we go with Know Your Enemy. Halo Wars 2, and it's dropping February 21st, 2017. Woo! Alright, I'm hyped for this. I really am. See, there's a cover art. There's the Ark. And that's when, and the Spirit transports are coming back too. So I'm hyped for this. I'm definitely going to play the beta. I will be uploading some beta gameplay as well. And yeah, so there you go. Halo Wars 2. Finally, 7 years later, after everybody who played the game wanted a sequel immediately. Although one thing that I will say is that the man who is in charge of overseeing this project is the same guy who was in charge of the Master Chief Collection. And I will say that will give someone cause to pause. It definitely will. So hopefully this game turns out to be good and not a complete disaster. It does have a beta almost a year before it comes out. So here's fingers crossed, right? I hope you guys liked the video. If you want to, you can like and subscribe. You know, and you don't have to, but you know, if you want to, you can do that too. And I'll see you next time.